When you're in chaos and you don't know what's going on, then you start imagining what might be going on. And that imagination is partly the world, as it might be, but it's also partly the structure of your unconscious mind, which is producing the fantasies.
Maps of Meaning, Jordan Peterson. Here's my genuine review. Maps of Meaning is the first book, like I said, like my buddy said, man, Jordan Peterson is straight up the interpreter of your subconscious. And he got that name during this Maps of Meaning book because honestly, man, like let's put it like this. Like I said, like I'm over 300 audiobooks deep. I've been on an audiobook journey for like years, like close to a decade. Like I'm an audiobook monster. This book took me almost half a year. And it was because the book was so chewy, you know what I'm saying? It was so chewy. There was so much grape soda and tartar sauce, like all the good stuff I'll be talking about. Like, as he's unpacking and really diving into and all the different components of why you're subconscious and why you work this way and how you see things and the hero's journey and the warrior's journey and the Ouroboros and the mother and the father and all these things that are inside you, these archetypes that are inside you. He's unpacking all this, and it's like the Fantasia, you know, Phantom of the Opera. Like it's like this big opera, and you're just sitting here, and your whole consciousness is expanding because it's the way you've seen the world, it's the way you understand the world, it's the way you are in the world.
First of all, you need to know them for your own life, because you got to know that there are differences in intelligence. It's really important. If you go into a job and you're not smart enough for that job, you're going to have one bloody miserable time. And you're going to make life wretched for the people around you because you won't be able to handle the position. And as you climb hierarchies of competence, the demand on fluid intelligence increases.
And it is truly spectacular to have someone go into your world and give meaning and some kind of symmetry and explanation and put a story around it and help you understand how these drives that have been deep inside of you your entire life really truly have been impacting your behavior and your outcome and your perspective, which dictates your performance. It is like an amazing experience. Like I'm trying to get you to understand.
The process by which the hierarchy itself and success within the hierarchy is generated, that's to be accounted over millions of years.
But at the same time, this book is not for the faint of heart. I'm just gonna come out and say it to you like this. This book, I've got a master's in psychology and a minor in forensic psychology. And I also did my bachelor's in the science of psychology, right? So like, this is my stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, not my stuff, like who am I in the game, but like, I like this stuff, you know? And this book is like a legitimate textbook, okay? So if you're one of those playing games for fun kind of people, you might have an issue with this. This is going to take discipline, and you're gonna have to be very intellectually stimulated by the quality of the content. This isn't a razzle dazzle Instagram type content video. This is a very extremely educational video. So I'm just gonna put it out there right now. Most people I know will not be able to finish this book. This is for the elite learners. This is for people that are that really have the drive and the stamina to be like, I'm going to learn a thing and stick with it. Like I said, the book honestly took me the better part.
The fact of malevolence in life and the fact that you need a destiny and a calling that justifies the trouble of the world. And you find that in the pursuit of responsibility.
About half a year to listen to, and I'm an audiobook fiend. And part of that reason was because the content was so rich and so multi-layered that if you're really truly gonna track with the book and understand it, you really need to give it, like I could only listen to it like 15-minute jumps and then kind of stop, because I would find that I was tuning out because the information was so thick, was so rich. Whereas other books, I put it on 2x speed and I just run through those things. I'm like, okay, cool, got it. You know, so this was a completely different vibrational frequency of content, information, and overall experience. Jordan Peterson in this book, it's very apparent. There's a stark difference between 12 Rules for Life and Maps of Meaning. In 12 Rules of Life, it was like, this is for the general public. This will help a lot of people. Maps of Meaning, it was like, I'm going to stretch my legs out on this run and really show these fools how smart I truly am. Like, I'm going to be authentic and me in this book. Like, because I know how that is sometimes. Like, he's like, in Maps of Meaning, he's like, this is and to me, it looked more like a life's work type document that really showcased how deep and thick and the width and depth and height and breadth of his intelligence. And honestly, I want to say I have a lot of compassion for him, because an individual that's this intelligent in today's day and age, there's a verse that King Solomon talks about that I've always wondered about: with much wisdom comes much sorrow. And I always prayed and asked God to understand that verse. And now, as I've gotten older, I've begun to understand it. I feel maybe. And so with all of that having been said, I have a lot of compassion for him, because I understand the hell he probably is in many cases, by being seen inaccurately, by being depicted inaccurately, by knowing so much and trying to help so many, but knowing the reality of how many of them are going to be able to actually digest and benefit from what he's doing, by knowing so much and being able to see so much and wanting to contribute so much, and being demonized, but then also watching when you know someone's potential and you know the potential of a thing, and you're watching him not achieve it, and you're watching it be thrown away. It's a very painful thing. And for him to be trying to speak to a whole society, and for him to still be watching what's going on.
Unless you want to fail, you don't put yourself in over your head. Well, what's over your head? Well, that's a tricky thing to figure out. I mean, you have to figure that out with intelligence, you have to figure it out with conscientiousness, you have to figure it out with creativity, you have to figure it out with stress tolerance, with agreeableness, because you want to go into a cooperative environment and not a competitive one if you're agreeable. And with neuroticism, you probably want to keep the stress level of your job relatively low.
I feel that that's a very heavy cross to carry. So, back to the book though, this book was a journey. And this book, I can say that this one book shaped so much through the archetypes of the hero and light and dark and order and chaos, so much the way I see the world and move in the world. And you'll see traces of it fused in my content, that I would be remiss not to just organically be driven to tell more about it. But I'm here to tell you, this book is not for everyone. This is a legitimate textbook. This book is not for people who need entertainment. This book is for some people that are stimulated and excited by high quality information that will make them better. You have to be stimulated by intense learning in order to like this. Otherwise you'll get bored and you'll just break off. You won't make it. 90% of the people I know won't make it through this book.
Why is it that smart people are at the top of dominance hierarchies? And the answer to that, in part, is because they get there first. Right? I mean, everything's a race, roughly speaking. And the faster you are, the more likely you are to be at the forefront of the pack. And intelligence, in large part, is speed. That's not all of it is.
And it's also the type of book that I'm mustering up the strength to go. I literally mean to muster up the strength to go back in and through again. And it'll probably take me another year and a half or so, and then I'll dive back in. So, Jordan Peterson, much love and respect. This Maps of Meaning book is something that we're all blessed that it's out in the world. I make these videos because I love you guys. Go and read that book if you dare. Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade. I'll see you all in the next video. Out. Boom!